Hello and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name is Colette and I'm here to do a reading today for all Sagittarians, Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus. If you don't know where your planetary signs are or which planets are in which signs, then I will be putting a link for a free astrological natal chart in the description below so that you can go and check them out. If this reading doesn't resonate with you, because it is a general reading, you may want to check out those other signs when I put them up and load them to my channel. You may want to check them out. I also yesterday did a 11/11 portal Sun conjunct Mercury retrograde in Scorpio and full moon reading combined, so you might want to go and watch that as well, because there may be aspects in there that might relate to you, so that might be worth a look for you. I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody who has subscribed and a big thank you to everybody who's come back to check out my channel. Thank you very much. I'm trying to grow my channel, so if you could like my video, tap the bell so that you can receive future videos, and subscribe, share it with your friends, that would be absolutely brilliant. Family, whoever you think might benefit from this reading. Thank you very much. So I would like to start the reading with a little bit of astrology, because I think there's a lot going on at the moment. Like I said, the reading that I did yesterday had some astrology at the very beginning before I did the reading itself, so you might be interested in finding out exactly what's going on planetary wise at the moment, because there is a lot happening. So the actual Mercury retrograde and Sun conjunct, which is happening today on 11/11 when I'm doing this reading, is all taking place in Scorpio, and Scorpio for Sagittarius is in the 12th house because it's the sign behind Sagittarius. So the 12th house is all to do with Piscean, because it's ruled by Pisces, and it's Neptunian stuff, which is very much to do with the mystical, the unknown, the dream state, the subconscious, the deeper realm. Very kind of scorpionic stuff as well, which is interesting because there are trines happening with Scorpio and Neptune at the moment as well, with the planets that are in Scorpio are making trines across to Neptune. So there's a kind of real emotional kind of mix up at the moment, if you like. Neptune is retrograde, but it's all happening in the 12th house for Sagittarians. So it's kind of a real heightened Piscean, nebulous, kind of can't quite grasp things, can't quite like make something reality. Neptune being retrograde doesn't help that either, because it's kind of in its kind of non-active state, shall we say, and it doesn't actually turn direct until the end of November, which will be brilliant when it does. There's going to be some huge changes taking place, but at the moment it's retrograde for this particular reading. So that's all the Scorpio stuff that is taking place there, and you've just had Venus move into your sign as well. So Venus is now in Sagittarius. So for you, Sagittarius, that's in your first house. So it's the house of beginnings, it's the house of physical appearance, it's the house of maybe being a little bit hot-headed as well. Aries tend to act before they think. So it's double fire in some ways as well, because Aries is ruled by Mars. So you've got that kind of double fire thing going on. So you could be quite extra passionate about things, extra kind of expansive, extra really kind of enthusiastic, and really kind of like, you know, it's just really, I just get this kind of feeling of there being a lot of kind of really strong beliefs, like, because Sagittarius rules beliefs, and that, you know, you being really kind of upbeat about things, very optimistic about things. Venus is kind of very much in that space of being into the optimistic side of things. Life looks good. She's progressing on her journey. She's expanding her dream, philosophy, study, all that stuff. It's good time to start something new. But in saying that, it might be a better time to wait until after Mercury turns direct on the 19th of or 20th of this month rather than, but it's a good time maybe to look into things that you might want to start something new for, new project, new relationship, all those kind of things, something new, something creative and passionate, and something that you can really kind of get behind. So that's probably the two most important, although the full moon in Taurus is actually in your 6th house as well, where Uranus is at the moment. And the 6th house is all about the Virgo. It's about analysing things. It's to do with the mind, because it's Mercury ruled. And so it's kind of, for you, it's opposing the Scorpio energies as well. So, and Mercury is in Scorpio, so you may find yourself at the moment feeling a bit confused and kind of a little bit kind of not quite certain about, although you're enthusiastic about things and you know that you want to do something, there may also be this element of you're not quite sure if you should or shouldn't, because there's this kind of feeling of the mind at the moment not quite being able to grasp things and really be able to make things make sense. It's almost like things don't make sense. There's this kind of element of everything being kind of like with Neptune, this nebulousness, and just this kind of, I know there's something that I want to do, but at the moment I'm not quite sure what it is. So there may be elements of that taking place here with this full moon as well. But like I said yesterday, if you want to watch my video from yesterday, you might get some more information from that as well, because I don't want to go too deep into that today because I did that yesterday. But also with Uranus in Taurus as well at the moment, opposite the whole Scorpio thing that's happening, there could be kind of very quick changes as well. You may find that you kind of think you're going to go down one path and something comes in and kind of says, no, that's not what's happening, and just kind of change things for you. Because Uranus is the bolts out of the blue. It's the unexpected. It's the, you know, what we're not kind of ready for in some ways. So in saying that, I would like to start your reading, and I'm going to be doing the start of your reading with the Namaste Blessing Cards by Tony Carmine Salerno. And you got 2 of these come out today, Sagittarius. This is the first one. This beautiful sleeping woman here. And the card itself is the blessing from your soul. And it's saying you are a beautiful soul, full of infinite wisdom. Stop judging and start loving yourself. You are blessed with endless potential and on the verge of transforming into the radiant being that is your true essence. Shine your light and allow this blessing into your heart. And maybe that's kind of what I was saying earlier as well, this kind of like expectation of kind of like, you know that something's coming, but you don't quite know what it is. And you're kind of, there's a confusion and a judgment of yourself, and you're not sure of who you are and what it's all about at the moment. I think there's an element of all of that within all of us at the moment with this Scorpio retrograde. And maybe not really knowing where we all stand. But the second card you got is a blessed gift. And this is saying literally that something beautiful is on its way to you. Something very beautiful is coming, and that you need to trust that everything is unfolding the way it should be. And that all concerned is perfect, everything is in its right place. Have faith and continue to hold positive and loving thoughts. A blessed gift is on its way to you. So it's quite interesting that the 2 of them should come out together. It's kind of saying to me that if you believe enough in yourself, which is a very Sagittarian, Jupiter in Sagittarius at the moment, with Venus as well, it's saying, you know, that your dream can come true. Something beautiful is on its way. Something that maybe you've been wanting for a long time, but it hasn't turned up. And you've kind of maybe even given up on believing that it's a possibility. And now it's coming in, and there could almost be this kind of like, really? Is that possible? Is that really happening? It's kind of doubting moment. Okay, so the main bulk of your reading I will be doing with the Greek Mythic Tarot, done by Juliet Sherman Burke and Liz Green together. And the first card that we get here is the Ace of Cups, which is at the heart of your reading, Sagittarius, which is a beautiful card to have at the heart of your reading. And very much this message. Something beautiful is on its way. It is slowly making its way towards you. And the Ace of Cups is always, because it's an ace, it's a new energy, it's a new uprush of feeling. And it could have a lot to do with this card here saying, you know, love yourself first. Love yourself, and in loving yourself, you know, the more you radiate that love out there, the more you kind of bring that, manifest it into yourself as well. That you can, you know, you can fall in love with the day itself, you know, a beautiful sunset. It doesn't have to just be a person. That love can be, you can fall in love with anything, you know. Something that's going to make you feel content and happy, and just this overwhelming feeling of just like, you know, that you are worth loving, that love is okay, that you can accept love, that it's okay to accept love. And this is really the message behind the Ace of Cups, because it's often the Ace of Cups often turns up before the actual initial attraction between two people, if you like. It's kind of the stage of I'm ready to have this in my life, I'm ready to accept this again. And if you look here, it's a massive cup. It's like, you know, there's a lot of love that you have to give, and in giving that love you can also receive it as well. So that to me is what this card is saying, that there's a lot of love out there. And it's like, oh, you know, she's standing in front of this kind of vast ocean, which also represents the emotions and the kind of the actual love itself, if you like. You know, it's like it's vast, it's deep, it goes on beyond the horizon. You know, you can see the horizon, but it's like, you know, it's way out there. So it's all that love. And it's a beautiful ornate cup as well. If you look at that cup, it's got some beautiful kind of ornate markings on it as well. So it kind of represents this beautiful creative, like something that you yourself are creating. And putting your thoughts and your mind and your how can I put it, like, you know, manifesting it into your life in a very positive way. Because above you at this moment in time, what's in your head and what you're aware of, Sagittarius, we have the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is literally the early stages of something. It's the two. It's before we've kind of got onto it's the early study, shall we say, or something, you know. It's when we kind of prepare ourselves to start something new, something rewarding, something that, you know, is going to be long term, something that we're going to feel that we've achieved something worthwhile from putting our time and our energy and our effort into it. Something creative, but also something practical, something down to earth, something that's solid, built solid foundations. So this is the early stages And for me, the two kind of go hand in hand as well, because love, you know, there is more to relationships than just this kind of, you know, wonderful feeling of being in love. It's like, you know, there has to be some practicality within relationships as well. Otherwise it just stays in this kind of, you know, airy fairy kind of castles in the air kind of space, you know. So this is kind of saying, like, you know, it's time to kind of bring this into the practical realm, into the real world. And relationships have to be worked on as well. Relationships are something that you have to actually work on for them to exist, for them to carry on, for them to have any long-term lasting energy. You have to be prepared to actually work on a relationship, otherwise it will just kind of fizzle out, or, you know, one person becomes unhappy and the other person becomes unhappy, and then the relationship doesn't continue. And at the bottom of this, what's underneath it, is this kind of upside down reversed Four of Pentacles. Now this is what's in the subconscious, so this is what's not so aware. This is the root cause, if you like. This is what has caused this to manifest. And it may be because there has been this element of holding on to something too tightly, not letting yourself let go of something previously that you really wanted to make happen. And there could be an element of, like, the dream, like I was saying earlier, with the astrology that's going on at the moment. There could also be this aspect of this kind of restricting yourself, holding yourself back for fear of love itself as well. Because often, you know, once we've been hurt, we can stop ourselves from allowing that to happen again. And so we kind of put ourselves back into that place where we've been before, because somehow it's much easier to stay in that place than it is to kind of open ourselves up to something that has the ability to hurt us. And this is, for me, what the Four of Pentacles is saying, that this person has trusted somebody before, but they got burnt, they got hurt, and they've had to kind of hold themselves back, or they've felt like they've needed to hold themselves back from allowing themselves to trust somebody enough to share something with somebody again. Because this is really what this card is about, because here he's holding on to all these Four Pentacles and he doesn't want to share them with this lad here, and this lad here is his apprentice and he's the teacher, and he is kind of been surpassed by the apprentice, so he's now kind of, you know, stopping his caring and his kind of nurturing of this young lad. There could be a form of jealousy here as well, because in this card there is a jealousy, but there, for me, I get this feeling that there is this kind of energy of just not knowing if you can trust your dream. Can I trust it? Can I allow that to actually come into my life? And what we have moving away here with the Queen of Pentacles is very much the emotions, very much kind of saying, you know, I have allowed myself into that place before. I have allowed myself to feel that strongly, that deeply, that emotionally. Because the Queen of Cups, sorry, is very much about the element of emotion, of water, of emotions. She's very caring, very considerate, very loving, very nurturing, very very intuitive, very aware of other people's feelings. She's very sensitive. Again, I'm just talking about the qualities of this card. I'm not saying that it has to be a female. It doesn't have to be a female at all. This could just be either gender, but it's the qualities of the card that I'm talking about here. And she feels on a really deep level. She's somebody who can be so connected to somebody that she feels their feelings. She's so empathic and sensitive, and she is the person who will kind of, end somebody's conversation for them. She gets so kind of in tune with the other person that she's in a relationship with, that she will almost become them. And that can have its own difficulties and its own problems, because she kind of loses her own identity in a way. She kind of gets lost as to who she is and who the other person is, and that can kind of become very confusing. So there could have been elements of that as well within the past relationships here, Sagittarius. This feeling of kind of like, having felt so deeply. But the Ace of Cups is also saying, it's okay to do that. It's okay to feel that deeply for somebody. And for yourself as well. To feel that deepness, that sense of love for yourself. Maybe rather than just, always putting it out there for other people. Because that's another thing with the Queen of Cups. They make great carers. They're great at looking after other people, but not so good at taking care of their own needs. So there are elements of that within the Queen of Cups as well. But what's moving in is the kind of total opposite of the Queen of Cups. And it is the King of Swords. And they are complete opposites in the sense, they're not just different genders and coming from different kind of energies as well, but they're also, she's all emotion and he's all logic. She sits in a place that's very green and lush, and the water, she feeds this, she nurtures it, she takes care of it, whereas he kind of sits in this very barren, very kind of cold and hard place. She's the kind of, the water signs, the Scorpio, Pisces and Cancerians. That's who she represents. And I have a mental block at the moment when it comes to Cancerians. But anyway, this card here represents all the air signs, Gemini, Libra and Aquarius, who are very much more of the mind and the kind of thinking element, the logical. So he's coming in as she's going out, as she's passing away. It's like almost like the emotions have been so overwhelming on some level. It's like now there's this feeling of kind of, I'm having to go into this, which could also represent the whole kind of, Scorpio retrograde, dive into with the Mercury, because this would represent the kind of mercurial mind as well, the thinking, logical, not practical but logical, very kind of precise, very exact, very accurate. I tend to find the King of Swords energy is quite kind of enigmatic as well. There's something kind of mysterious about them in a way, because they don't tend to give away much of themselves away, because they're not very emotional, because they're very much in their heads. They tend not to be very, what's the word, very kind of, it's like you have to get to know these people on a level of intellect. They are very, you know, they connect intellectually rather than connecting with you on an emotional level. So there's something that they kind of tend to be deep thinkers, but also people who are, they can be quite infuriating to people who, you know, are more like this. But then, you know, that works both ways as well. So if there's a relationship where you've got these two kind of energies, it can be, they can balance each other out quite nicely, you know, because one's got the kind of, you know, it's the balance with the Libra harmonious kind of need here. One's got the kind of emotional energies that are needed to feel things in a different way, and one is also very logical. But often when these energies come in, it's saying, you know, now it's time for you to maybe put yourself into this energy. You may meet somebody who represents this kind of energy, who you feel a strong attraction to, who kind of comes into your life to help you see things clearer and to understand things on a different level, whereas, you know, you may well have been very much caught up in that whole emotional realm and element of deeper diving. Like the King of Swords is saying, look, you know, step out of your emotions for a while and just try and take a look at this from a logical perspective and see the picture from a different angle. So that's what's coming in as the Queen of Cups moves away. And I'm just going to put some cards down to clarify what's going on with these cards. And I'm using the Gilded Tarot here. It's kind of quite new to me, the Gilded Tarot. I haven't worked with them very much. I'm much more into my Greek mythic tarot deck. So the energies of these are a different energy for me. So I'm going to put a card down between the Queen of Cups and the Ace of Cups and see what the energies are. What's the connection here between the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Cups? What is the energy? Here we go. Thank you. And we have the Seven of Pentacles that's come out, but it's come out reversed. And the Seven of Pentacles is often seen as a card of harvest, of things ripening at the right time for you to be able to literally harvest them, you know, kind of, you've put the work in and you've kind of reached a certain point where you can now, you're ready to go out there and harvest it and bring it in and, you know, enjoy the fruits of your labour, if you like. But with it being reversed and with it being in between these two cards here, I would say that there's this element of feeling that the harvest or the choices or the harvest, because I tend to see the sevens as choices as well. They're all about choices, seven. And the choices here in some ways is about feeling that it's not right. It's not the right time yet. Not the right time. Things aren't ripe. Things haven't ripened enough. That there's more to be learnt from that situation. There's more growth that is needed from that situation. Yeah, because it's reversed as well. There is this kind of feeling of it all being upside down. It kind of, you know, again goes with that feeling of confusion, of thinking that you knew how something was going to be, but then it kind of turned out differently. And it could be because the Queen of Cups tends to have this kind of side of her where she kind of loses her own identity. That you might have thought, you know, this is what I should do, this is how I am, this is like, you know, with this up here as well, and also the 4 down here, which is also reversed. It's like this feeling of maybe, you know, every time you work on something, on an emotional level, perhaps, you know, every time that you put that time and that energy and that effort into something, it just doesn't seem to turn out right. And that may be why, you know, there's this kind of need for the King of Swords to come in to play here, rather than just always coming from the emotional angle of things. There may need to be this this more logical, more what's the words I'm looking for here? More precise, I hesitate to use the words cold and hard, but those are the words that are kind of in my head at the moment. This kind of need to be more like, I even don't want to say hard-nosed, but you know, there's something here where you're going to have to kind of remove the emotion from this and turn to the logical side of yourself. Find that kind of, you know, the harsher, more, in a way, resistant, kind of like an element of not allowing yourself to be ruled by your emotions. Because there's a situation here where you need to be more harsh in a way. More harsh, more kind of, yeah, harsh is the word that I just keep getting. This kind of need to be harsher about something, to not allow people, maybe not to allow people to walk all over you. Maybe that's also something that I'm getting here, Sagittarius. And this may just be for somebody out there, for one person, or maybe a few people out there, you know, but that's the kind of energy that I'm picking up on here. God, my hair just a mess. But anyway, so that's the feeling there. And the card that came in to go between those two is the 10 of Pentacles, but again that card is reversed, and the 10 of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups with the King of Swords is saying to me that there's a lot of pentacles going on here. There is a lot of pentacles, so I get the feeling that this is also something to do maybe with work, something that somebody, like, you know, a situation where somebody really loves what they're doing, or they're learning to love what they're doing. And this can also be like a father figure as well. It doesn't have to be a father, but it can be like a father figure, somebody who like plays that character out for you. And sometimes it doesn't matter what age we are, you know, there's still this kind of need sometimes for a father figure in our lives. And he does have that quality about him. He's often very fair, very honest. He speaks with the truth. He's very truthful, especially when he's upright. He's a very truthful character. He also could represent the justice system as well. There may be a need for somebody to get themselves a lawyer, somebody who works within the law. There may be elements of that here as well with the Ten of Pentacles. Up that way, there may be somebody who's going to, you know, feel as though they're going to lose what they've worked hard for, what they've put their time and their energy and their passion into. And just this element of not getting back what they put in. Maybe somebody feels that they've put more into something and they're not getting enough back from that. That could well be what the Ten of Pentacles is saying, because it's a pentacle, it's physical realm, it's financial realm, it's what sustains us, it's what fulfills us, but it's upside down. If it was up that way, I would say all is well and good, but it's upside down. So there is this feeling that something isn't right here, that somebody is losing something that they've worked hard for. Or maybe even that you know, that this needs to be let go of. In order, because it's a 10, there may be, you know, an element, this is complete. This is complete now. You know, it could also have something to do with a possible divorce as well. That somebody's having to kind of walk away from a family situation, or an inheritance, or something that they were expecting maybe, but it's turning out that because there is a lot of pentacles involved here. So again, this isn't for everybody, but I get the feeling that this could be something that's happening for a few people out there. And the King of Swords could well be that kind of the justice system, the kind of, you know, the person who makes sense of it all, using the logic rather than just using the emotions and the feelings. That this could have something to do with a family situation, either a divorce or an inheritance perhaps, but something where there has been a lot of love, because that's what's at the heart of the reading here. There has been a lot of love there. And maybe there still is a lot of love there. Maybe there's just this feeling that things aren't working out. But don't forget that you did get this card at the beginning, Sagittarius, which is very much about a blessing coming your way. Something beautiful is coming your way. But it may not be the way you expect it, of course, because of Uranus playing its part in this whole full moon scenario at the moment. Full moon in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, financial things, because Taurus rules finances, financial markets. There could be losses within something that somebody thought was going to work out for them in a particular way, and it hasn't. Uranus is all about, like I say, bolts out of the blue, things changing very fast. Not realising, you know, and it's often things that we can't control as well. So I'm going to try and ask you one more card. One more card to put over this Four of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. See what's going on with the Four of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. Please, one more card for Sagittarius. What's happening with the Ace of Cups and the Four of Pentacles? Why are these two cards together? There we go, you can pull out. Oh, very nice. Very nice, but again, there is this feeling. We have got the Two of Cups come out. And if we go back to what I was saying earlier about this Queen of Cups here as well, feeling that she kind of maybe invested too much emotion into something, and that she doesn't trust her own instincts and her own feelings. Although she's not upside down, so I would say that she probably has trusted her own instincts and her own feelings, and maybe she's still feeling very confused by that because it hasn't worked out the way that she thought it would. But with this here, I kind of get this feeling with this upside down as well, that there has been this element of something from the past, which is, because this is subconscious, this is the root cause of what's happened here. And this is from kind of saying from the past, this is somebody who feels that they can't trust themselves enough anymore to allow this, because this has kind of led to all of what's going on here. But this is saying the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups together for me is saying that, you have to open yourself to this love. You have to forget this kind of sense of restriction and fear in many ways, and doubts and mistrust. And, if you stay in that place, then this is never going to happen, And it is there. It is there. There is this feeling of things. These two people, like I was saying earlier, this is the initial energy, the kind of before the two people meet. And so I feel on some level that, this could well be to do with this kind of divorce and this kind of walking away from what was. And something else comes in. This Two of Cups comes in, this beautiful manifestation, this kind of unexpected, if you like. It's unexpected. This is the unexpected. Is this reunion, or not reunion, but, well, it could be a reunion. It could be with somebody that you've had a relationship with in the past. For some people, it could be a reunion. It could be that, the relationship has had time out, that there has been this time of kind of, of walking away from something, of not having the emotional attachment to something, to have left that kind of energy. Or that there will be. That's what you're doing. That's what's coming in, is there's going to be this period of time of, but it will lead back to the Two of Cups on some level, whether that's with somebody that you know already, whether that's with somebody brand new. Ace of Cups here, but it is a new feeling of love here that's coming in. There is this feeling, but in order for that to take place, this has to be let go of. This has to be let go. This is hurt, this is pain, this is mistrust, this is something that's happened in the deep dark past that has led somebody to feel that they can't trust. So, and again, it could be to do with Pentacles. It could all be to do with money, in the sense that this person has been burnt in the past by somebody, and now they feel that they can't trust somebody. Maybe they opened their heart to somebody and somebody took advantage of them and you know, took them to the cleaners or whatever, you know. It kind of, I get this feeling that something to do with love and money kind of has kind of blocked this person's energy and stopped them from feeling that it's okay for a sense of love to come in, or even maybe that they don't deserve that they've tried it, you know, been there, done that, tried it, didn't work. So now, you know, I've got to kind of close myself off. But in closing yourself off, you're not doing yourself any favours. So the last card that I'm going to pull here is a card which is Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks, and the entity known as Abraham. Again, if you don't know who Abraham is, Abraham Hicks as he's known, I suggest you go and look him up online. There's a lot of stuff out there. It's all about manifesting, and I like to kind of use these cards at the end of the reading to make people aware of how it is that they're manifesting, what they're manifesting, why they're manifesting the way that they are, what they can expect if they carry on manifesting in the same way. Because that's really what this Four of Pentacles down here is saying as well, is if you carry on holding this back, you're just going to keep staying in that place. You're just going to stay stuck, and you're just going to keep experience the same relationships over and over again. In many ways, you're just going to keep blocking yourself off to what could really be, you know, true love. Because that's kind of what this is saying here to me. You know, the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups together is kind of real true love. You know, there's a sense of like, there's a lot that can come from this. A lot of potential within these two cards. So Sagittarius, one last card. Let's see how you're manifesting. Oh, okay, we'll have two last cards then. First card we have, nothing happens without my having invited it. There you go. Nothing happens without my having invited it. That's kind of what this is saying to me here, you know. If I keep on doing this, I'm just going to keep on getting the same results. So, when you understand the law of attraction, you are never surprised by what occurs in your experience. For you understand that through your own thought process, you have invited every bit of it in. Nothing can occur in your life experience without your invitation of it through your thought. And our thoughts are what kind of manifest our feelings. What we are thinking is how we feel. And what we feel is what we put out there. And what we put out there is what we get back. It's this kind of vicious cycle in many ways. So it's saying, you know, that you are in control of what happens to you. It's not about other people. It's not about saying, oh, you know, but this happened to me, so therefore, you know, I'm going to keep on blaming this person. This is saying, no, what you're thinking is what you're manifesting. Look at what you're thinking. And the second card that came out here is success is about the joy I feel. And it says, when you are genuinely thrilled by someone else's success, that means you are right on the track of your own. Success is not about getting it done. The measure of success in life is not the attainment of the money or the stuff. The measure of success is absolutely the amount of joy you feel. And so for me, that kind of sums up the whole kind of money, pentacles kind of, it's not about what you know, what we have on a physical material plane. It's about the amount of joy, and joy kind of brings in love, if you like, you know, happiness, joy, love, they're all the same kind of energy. So the more that we feel that, the more we will manifest it into our lives. And that's really what this card is saying to me, is that the joy, I can choose to feel that joy, or I can choose to feel this here, this kind of stubborn, stuck, can't, won't, resistant energy, which will just keep us in the same place. Or we can say, no, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to open my heart to the universe, to something bigger, something magnificent, something that I really want to achieve and to feel and to allow to grow. So Sagittarius, those are your messages for today. If you like my reading, please do subscribe. Like I said, like the actual video itself, tap the bell so that you can receive the videos that I will be putting out in the future. I also have put my PayPal link onto this channel on my about page. So if you are interested in getting a private reading from me, you can check out my email, which will also be in the subscription below and is also on my about page, and send me an email and I will get back to you and discuss which reading you'd be interested in. And you can pay through my PayPal account as well, just to make things easier. But if you would like to donate to my channel as well, that would be fantastic, and then I can keep it going. I want to keep growing this channel as much as possible. So I hope this has been helpful for you, Sagittarius, and many blessings. Take care.